Today I'm going to talk about point and support. Point and support are the essence of your paper. The point of your paper is really the main argument, and the support is what you use in order to prove that argument. Think of a chair with a loose leg on it. When you sit on it, it falls to the ground. Well, if you have a paper with a weak support, just like that weak leg, your paper will fall to the ground as well. It just truly falls apart. Let's start by taking a look at a cartoon. So in this cartoon, we have Snoopy saying or typing, "Why dogs are superior to cats." They just are, and that's all there is to it. Short and to the point. Okay, so the first thing we need to ask ourselves is, what is the point of Snoopy's cartoon? Well, our point is that dogs are superior to cats. That's what Snoopy is claiming is true. What is the support of his argument? His support is, they just are. Well, this is just like when mom and dad say, "You can't go out late tonight." Why can't I go out late? Because I said so. There's no support there, and therefore you get really frustrated with your parents because they haven't given you a justification that meets your needs. So instead, Snoopy needs to come up with support as to why a dog is superior to a cat. Let's move on. Let's take a look at another cartoon here. This one's a little bit more difficult to read. I'm sorry about that. But here you have a cartoon with a student holding his report card, and the caption says, "School was not going well." Okay, well, what's the point? School is not going well is our point. How does the cartoonist support that? Well, the student has an F in biology, a D in math, an F in English, a C in history, and an F in Spanish. So the cartoon is supported by the picture of the report card. Let's take a look at one more. Here's a dog talking to his master. "First, my ball rolled under the sofa. Then my water dish was too warm. Then the squeaker broke in my squeaky rubber pork chop. I've had a horrible day and I'm completely stressed out." All right, so what is the point of this cartoon? Well, the point is that the dog had a bad day. Dog had bad day. All right. Well, how does he support it? Well, he supports it by the fact that his ball rolled under the sofa, the water dish was too warm, and the squeaker toy broke in his squeaky rubber pork chop. Okay, so that does sound like a pretty bad dog day, and he did support his argument. All right, now what I'd like you to do is I want you to take a look at this video, and I want you to think about what is the support, or sorry, what is the main point, and what is the support. All right, here we go. Okay, so after watching the video, hopefully you realize that the main point is that when we segregate other people, when we segregate the outcasts, it ends up backfiring. So basically, I'm going to just say that the point of the video is don't segregate. And how is that supported? Well, of course, the climax of that video is when the birds are chirping away, pecking away at the big bird's claws, and they realize when it's too late that they are going to be flying up in the air, and they do. So now we need to support it. We've got the support that the little birds are really mean to the big bird. And in the end, after trying to hurt the big bird, it ends up backfiring and hurting them. Little birds. Okay, so that is point and support. Now we need to go into plot versus analysis. When you're writing a paper, at this point in your high school career, we are no longer writing summaries within a paper. You're assuming that your reader has already read the novel, therefore you don't need to retell the novel to the reader. So plot is the retelling of part of a story or summarizing. Analysis, which we will be doing throughout the year, is looking deeper at elements of the story in order to develop a conclusion about the novel as a whole. So think about the 3 whys. That's what we're doing. We're going deep. We're going down into the 3 whys as opposed to just staying on the surface. So let me show you an example of a paragraph about the video that's just plot. The Birds Are on a Wire video is a comedic illustration of the necessity to accept those who are different. Okay, there's our topic sentence, what the paragraph's going to prove. The little blue birds are fighting about having to share the electrical wire with one another until the big, awkward blue bird joins them. Does this sentence analyze anything? Has it proven the topic sentence? The answer is no. It has not tied back to that topic sentence at all. The little birds clearly do not want the big bird to be with them, and they start making fun of him and plotting plans to avoid him. Does this prove the necessity to accept those who are different? The answer is no, it doesn't. When the big bird joins them on the wire, the little birds try to segregate themselves from him, but cannot because of his weight. All right, that kind of does. This because of his weight might. Let's see if the writing goes any further. Then the little birds try to peck at his claws to force him off the wire, but it ends up backfiring on them, thus showing the need to accept others. All right, going back to this, they cannot segregate themselves because of his weight. The author doesn't go far enough to actually make this analysis. To make it analysis, the author needs to say something along the lines of, just as in a racial community or when we segregate others in our community, we can't because they're always going to be there and we need them in this community. Somehow to tie it back to this idea of segregation. All right, so this is all plot. It's just retelling the video. It's summarizing the video and giving this idea of what it's about. Now let's take a look at the paragraph that's analysis. The Disney Pixar video for the birds is a comedic illustration of the effects of shunning those who are different from the norm. So here's my topic sentence. Shunning those who are different from the norm. At the beginning of the video, the little blue birds do not even want to share the electrical wire with one another. However, once the big awkward bird arrives, the little birds become unified in the mission to shun the outcast. Notice how I am tying back to the thesis, or the topic sentence of this shunning the outcast. Instantly, they all begin making fun of the big bird's differences and laugh at him. Okay, this is a little bit of plot, but notice we have the all. It's that going back to that idea of unifying in order to shun the outcast. Next, the birds distance themselves from the large bird, just as the norm often distance themselves from the outcasts. Okay, going back to that thesis. Despite their rudeness, the large bird is determined to become a part of the society and joins them on the wire. The part of the society, this is tying back again to our topic sentence. When the little birds try to segregate themselves again, they cannot, because the large bird's mass is too much to avoid, because it is impossible to completely shun the outcasts from the society. This is what I was talking about up here, that the author needed to tie this back to the topic sentence somehow. All right, let's finish this up. Finally, the masses turn to violence, not recognizing their need for the large bird, who is keeping them all grounded. Blinded by their prejudice, the little birds ignore the warning cries of the large bird and end up being the ones who are harmed, both physically and emotionally. And this is talking about the effect then of shunning the outcasts. So hopefully you can see in this paragraph that it's much more analysis. It's making an argument and supporting the argument with examples from the video. I hope this helped and have a great day.